There we go. We are now in business. We are in business. He's figured it out. All right, hopefully everything goes well. Let's get straight into this, boys. A complete guide to personal branding from me, your fellow gorilla. In today's presentation, you will learn how any of you can create a personal brand in the next 90 days. It's important that we use speed here, so you boys are up and running within the next 3 months with a personal brand, if that is what you decide to do. And after this video, you'll probably be thinking, well, there is literally no point in me not starting a personal brand. That is the idea. So in the next 90 days, you'll be able to make your first online income with an offer from a personal brand after watching this video. This is exactly the step-by-step that I followed to create my personal brand and start earning online income. You'll learn what a personal brand actually is, why it's important, how I started mine and scaled it to 30K a month, and we're going even higher than that now. How often you need to post, what you should post, what platforms to use, and how to monetize your brand once you have people on board, once you have people watching your stuff. How do you monetize that? How do you turn those people into cash? And I'm going to teach you all of that now. So first things first, let's just get down to what a personal brand actually is. So it's presenting your views to the world, who you are as a person. So every single one of you has a personal brand right now. And that's just either a personal brand with your friends, that's a personal brand with an ex-girlfriend, that could literally be a personal brand with anyone, with your mum. People that understand when they meet you, you stand for a certain set of values. That's what a personal brand is. So marketing who you are, what you stand for. And the reason why that's important is because, lo and behold, when you put that stuff out on the internet, there's other people that have the same views as you. So it's very important that the personal brand, you don't try and be me, you don't try and be someone else with a personal brand. You can use our strategies, but the personal brand is you. It's you at your core. It's what you're interested in. It's your opinions, because they're the people that you'd be surprised. You start putting things out on the internet and suddenly you realize that there's people that agree with the same things as you, and they become your viewers, and then eventually they become your customers.
Jack, sorry, we can't see the presentation if it's on. I don't know if it's on or not.
Good man for saying that. I'm not sure why this. Oh, my screen sharing's paused. That's a thank you for telling me that, because that would be an absolute nightmare.
Hey.
Can you see this?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you didn't watch the entire thing, boys, and just not tell me that, because that would have been a fucking nightmare. Anyway, I'll keep that bit of the video in, and we'll just go from where we were. So they're the slides that should have been up. So you can have a look at that, screenshot it, or when the record comes out, you can pause it and have a look. But that's what you'll learn. That's what a personal brand is. Present your views to the world, marketing who you are, marketing what you stand for, building relationships with your viewers, making sure people know your name and what that name means. So when people think of you, they relate you to the thing that you sell, to the product that you have. Personal brand is super important now because we live in a generation of increased competition. So there's more and more people doing more and more of the same stuff. So if you don't have a brand, it's very, very hard to differentiate yourself from other people, because everyone's done everything. Everyone's nearly done everything that you can do. You're just doing a different spin of what someone else has done. So without a personal brand, competition is absolutely rife, and you're competing on price, which is not a good thing. So having a personal brand means no one can replicate your product. It's your product because it's tied directly to you, and you are the one that's built the value and built the relationship with the viewer. So that's the importance of the personal brand. And I'll run you through some personal brands that are absolutely huge money. You're already doing it at the moment. You have a personal brand. You're just not showing it to people. You're maybe showing it to a few friends, but you're not showing it to the whole world, what you're interested in, what you believe in, the stuff that you know. All of you will have knowledge on a certain topic or certain situation that you could share with someone and they get value from. It's just unlocking that, showing your own journey. And that's how you start to build your personal brand. And also, when you get your personal brand up and running, especially with Instagram, it's not just for business or creating an offer. You're going to make connections, you get the network, you get work. If you're looking for a job, get free trips, free stuff. If you become a personal brand in a certain space, you'll start getting sent items to promote. So there's massive, massive advantages of having a brand. I literally think without a brand, you can't make it to that top level. You have to absolutely have a brand. Here we go. Best personal brands out there. What a lot of you probably won't realize is you can pay for obviously mentorships with some of the best in the world and spend fortunes, or you can just look at what they're doing. You can dissect everything that somebody you admire is doing if you watch them carefully enough. For example, I speak to Iman Gadzi, but I also, before I started speaking to him, we speak to each other on WhatsApp now. Before I did, I started dissecting how his YouTube was working, because he was making more progress than me. He's a guy who's making way more money than me. He's younger than me. His channel's growing faster. He's got a better business. So he's doing something right. So you look at what they're doing. And what I did is went through and I dissected Iman Gadzi's lead funnels for how his funnels work related to his YouTube channel. How is he driving traffic? What system is he using? How are his videos structured? How often is he changing the thumbnails and titles on his videos? He's changing 7 thumbnails and titles and videos every week, I'll have you know. That's a very important way to refresh your old videos and make sure you're getting new views. But any of these people, these are some of the biggest brands out there. Conor McGregor, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone. Big one with Grant Cardone, a story I found out about, a guy called Brad Lee. Some of you guys will know him, some of you won't. But he was a partner with Grant Cardone at the start, and Brad Lee was kind of against the whole personal branding stuff. He just wanted to be a traditional businessman. He didn't want to put himself out there. Grant Cardone was making videos, like 3 or 4 videos a day, just spending heaps and heaps on these ads to get his videos out there, and picking up quite a lot of hate on the internet. And even his partner, Brad Lee, said, mate, you're making an idiot of yourself. What are you doing? Lo and behold, Grant Cardone becomes one of the biggest names in the industry. And Brad Lee, his business partner, way smaller than him in terms of the money he's made, and has now turned to a personal brand and has started killing it with a personal brand. So a lot of you might have a little bit of fear about creating a personal brand. Most people do when they get into it. But have a look at these guys, find the ones that you relate with, the ones that you like their content, and just look at how they're advertising themselves. These are some really big names. They're all worth more than 500 mil, which is just absolutely insane. And they're all built off the back of personal brands. Next thing you got to do, this was a big one for me, you got to get over the fear. So you're going to have a bit of fear, probably most of you, to what other people are going to think about your brand. And I certainly had the same thing when I started. Or one sec, can everyone just make sure they're on mute? I've got a little bit of feedback coming through. There we go, we're all good. There we go, getting over fear. So when I first started personal brand, I was thinking the same things that you guys probably are, which is like, what are my current friends and family going to think when I start putting content out on the internet, when I've never put stuff out on the internet before, which is it's a valid fear. And a lot of that comes down to the majority of people that start a personal brand, they then decide that they are going to make it on a brand new account. You absolutely can't make it on a brand new account. And the reason why is because you would be surprised by the people you currently have in your following. So you might have 1,000 followers on Instagram, and they're your friends from school, they're people you worked with in the past. These people are directly already bought into you as a person. And you'd be surprised how many of these people, when you release your first offer, which is something we'll go through, you'd be surprised how many of these people actually become your biggest fans. They don't become the people that criticize you, they become the people that cheer you on, and they become the people that relate with what you say. So starting a new personal brand is the worst thing you can do. You've got to use your current audience, and you've got to get over that fear. And the way you do that is you just think, look, I will die one day, so will everybody else. If I don't do this, there'll be an element of regret. If I do it and it fails, who cares? No one will remember anyway. Everyone's too concerned about themselves. So just remember, people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. They will probably like your content and be your first customers rather than be the people that bring you down. Those will be strangers in the future, most likely. And that's what I found massively. When I first started out, I was in online coaching, and my first 10 clients were all friends and family. And that helped me move to Thailand. So they're your biggest asset currently. They're the people that most likely want to see you win. So you have to use that. And you just have to get over that fear by saying to yourself, in the grand scheme of things, one day I'll be lying there dying on my deathbed, and I'll just think, why the fuck didn't I try that? Maybe my life could have turned out different. Your upside is a life of freedom where you literally make money being the person who you are. And your downside is you die with complete regret, having not achieved what you wanted. So You've got to look at that seriously, have a stern word with yourself and say, look, there is no fear in regards to this personal brand. There's no point in having any fear around it. Hopefully that has broken that down for you boys a little bit more and given you the push maybe some of you need. So if you've got a pen and paper, good time to write down some action steps, because these are the first things you need to do when it comes to creating a personal brand. You need to decide who you are. Write a description about how you want to be perceived by other people, who you want to become. Because the first step in personal branding is your journey, people following you and who you become. So you can have a look and you can be honest with who you are now and where you want to go. And that is the first thing. That is your first avenue for content, is you growing into the person you want to be. So number one is decide who you are and then write that down. And that's who you're going to become. Decide what your values are, how you differentiate between good and bad, whether you think vegans are cool or you think carnivore diet's cool, or whatever your views are on things and what you stand for, you need to write down. You need to write 5 values, how you differentiate between good and bad, what you think is a good thing and a bad thing in this world. That's what you're going to hammer home with your content. And then what you stand for. Do you love Formula One racing? Is that one of your main interests? Is that something you're going to talk about? Is it masculinity, fighting, football? Any of that stuff, it's not what I do, it is what you do. And no matter how niche, how small, maybe fishing for some random, really small type of fish, if that's what you like doing, that's what your brand is going to be tailored around when you start. Because at the start, you just need to make content about something. And that's where most people get stuck. The personal brand can change as you grow. It's not stuck in one place. The brand can absolutely change. And hopefully you boys have seen that with my brand. I started as an online personal trainer. I'm moving further and further away from that. We went then into testosterone. We got onto YouTube. And then now we're going down more of the business route and the networking route with the new elite. So you can absolutely change your brand as you change as a person, but you need a place. Oh, let me just see how I mute everybody. Mute all. There we go. Sick. All right. I think I just did this one, yeah. Yeah, what you enjoy doing right now, that's basically your biggest avenue for content. I've tried to go down the route of saying in my head, what will my audience like? What will they want to view? You just end up unsatisfied. You'll end up burnt out as a creator. Anything that you have a small interest in, that's what you talk about. And some people vibe with it and some people won't. And that's how you build the personal brand, because then it's no effort, because you just have to talk about what you're interested in right now. There's no effort to research. It might be a book you're reading. It can be absolutely anything. And then I see your content and I vibe with it as well. And that builds a connection between me and you as an audience. So what platform should you start on? I think Instagram, personally, because it's where I started. I don't know about other people that have started on different platforms. I'm just going to give you what I've done, boys. So Instagram is where I started. And your Instagram should tell a story. Your Instagram, when I see it, should tell me exactly who you are through pictures and what you're about, what kind of guy you are, what sort of stuff you're into. It should show me, like a business card, exactly who you are. And the way that you do this as a personal brand, so this will be your first step once you've figured out who you are as a person, what you're going to start talking about. The easiest way to do it is daily stories, because there's no risk with stories. It's just up for 24 hours. So you just get used with stories to posting 5-6 stories a day of what you're doing. And eventually you need to get over the fear of turning the camera on, looking in the camera and saying a couple bits to camera about a thought you're having, about a book you just read, about something you did today, about a lesson you learned. The people that are watching your story, they are your daily TV show. They are tuning in to see you every single day. They're building a relationship with you through those stories. And I believe it is the new email list. A lot of you will be getting so many emails from so many different people that you don't really listen to, or you don't really open because your email box is just fucked. I've got the same thing with mine. I've also run email campaigns for my business. They do not work anywhere near as efficiently as the conversion rates work when I do Instagram stories. So the amount of story viewers you have will be a direct correlation to the amount of money you can make when you launch your offer. because those people that watch your stories day in, day out, and you're providing value day in, day out, they are the people that become your customers. So I genuinely believe Instagram stories is the new email list. You got one slight problem there, which means you should still build an email list as well, is that obviously you could have an Instagram account taken away, whereas no one can take your email list. So I still think you should build an email list, but if you've got Instagram, it is an incredible money-making tool. It is an incredible money-making tool, has to be done. In regards to the rest of the account, the reels are for exposure. The reels are going to put you in front of a new audience. So you need to entertain or you need to educate when you are in front of a new audience, or inspire. I think they're the three main drivers of exposure and new followers: entertain, educate, inspire. And that's what your reels need to do. Now, you don't need to put the reels on the main feed. They can be off the feed. You can hide the grid from the feed and you can just have your reels running in the background. The more you do, the more likely you're going to get one that blows up. You need to follow trends and you need to find an audience. You need to say stuff that's polarizing, gets people on one side or the other, stuff that drives comments that people can agree or disagree with. You get that up, then you start to get your followers on your Instagram. Your posts are for your aesthetic. They're for writing down what you believe in. They're for writing a structure of how your life's going, or telling a story, or telling us what you're all about as a person. And then they give us the aesthetic. What do you look like? You're a guy that's taking care of your body. Can we see what you're about from your pictures? If you're a mentor, maybe it's a picture of you in a room talking to a load of people, and that gives you that social proof. You need to look at your Instagram in that way. It is a business card for everyone that you meet, and it is a massive, massive tool for business. Carousels, authenticity. You can start with one picture at the front. This is when you post multiple Instagram pictures in a row. Your first one on the front maybe looks great. It looks amazing at a first glance. It looks professional. And then your carousel can actually tell a story. Your carousel can have unprofessional pictures. It can have a different side of your personality. The carousel is very nice for that. It can tell a full story. It can tell a full trip without having to clog your feed up. And you can tell a story to your followers. And then the bio, try and give us a little bit about who you are. Either what your business is, what you're excited about at the moment. Copy my bio structure. I think it looks professional. Or check out any of the other guys that I put up there and copy their bio structure from the ones when you watch the recording, when you watch the top personal brands. Have a look at how the bios are structured. See which one suits you best as the person you are now. And that's basically Instagram in a nutshell. And I'll teach you how to monetize that Instagram in a minute. But before that, we're going to the YouTube. I believe it's the YouTube. Oh no, my upload schedule for building an Instagram. You boys will be able to, you can either screenshot it now if you're on phone, or you boys will have access to this afterwards. I'll send it out to everyone so you can watch it again. But stories every day. This is a non-negotiable. If you are genuinely serious about building a personal brand, I expect you boys to hop on stories daily from today. I expect your first stories to go out after this call, and I expect you not to stop ever in your entire lives until you die, because that's what I've done. I've never stopped. I'm still doing daily stories now, and I started like 2 years ago, and my income is massively correlated to my story views. It's unbelievable the amount of money I do through Instagram, even compared to the YouTube. YouTube's big as well, but Instagram is such a moneymaker. So boys, if you're serious about personal brand, fucking commit to it. And I expect you to do it until you die, or you get banned off Instagram. And then you got 3 normal posts per week: tell stories, entertain, provide value. 5 reels. You should bulk film your reels, boys. There's one day you should sit down, 20 ideas, a couple different changes of clothes, various different ideas for the reels, and you need to bulk make your content on one day, get it sent over to an editor. That's all fairly cheap, because if you're trying to make a new reel, come up with a new reel every day, it's going to take an hour out of every day, compared to just spending one day. You've got a month's worth of content, and that's going to work on your background exposure. That's going to work on growing your channel. Now, a lot of people ask me, should I buy followers? Because that is something that, if you boys don't know, that's something that I did. When I first got into personal branding, I thought, if I have 10K followers, I'm going to look more official. So I did what they call a growth campaign, which is where somebody gives away a certain product. So some girl with 1 million followers might be giving away 2 MacBooks. And to win the MacBooks, you have to go into her comments and you have to follow the people that are linked, and you buy a space. You buy a space as one of those names linked under the video. So when she puts out the giveaway, you have to follow me to be able to win the giveaway, and it gets the person like between 10 and 15,000 followers from that giveaway. The problem with this, boys, is that those are real followers, but I did it for a makeup niche, a Latin American makeup niche. So I got like 15,000 Latin American women following me, which obviously that's not a bad thing. That's good if you go in Latin America, if you want to gain that and do whatever you want with that. But they were not interested in my content. So as soon as I got those followers, I had the big problem of like 300 of those were leaving every day. So if you are going to look at growth, because I think it does have an advantage in people's minds, you just have to know the benefits and the negatives of it. So if you are going to look at a growth campaign, you need to have a look, what kind of demographic is this growth campaign from that I'm signing up for? If it's guys that are in your target demographic, maybe it'd be worth it. Maybe you'll hold on to those followers. And is it going to be worth it to have that 10K to look like you've got a bit more credibility, but your engagement in your post stops? That's another thing. You can easily tell when someone's bought 100K followers, you go onto their reels and you see, oh, they get 1,000 views. You can't buy views on reels. So if you ever want to know if someone's bought followers, go and check their reels. Bang, 1,000 views and they've got 100K followers. You know, it's a fake audience and it kind of ruins it. So just putting it out there, boys, full transparency about what I did. In the end, I lost all of those followers that I bought and I regained new ones from the YouTube. Did it help me at the time? I'm not 100% sure. To me, it felt like it did to have that 10K and that bit of credibility when I was starting as a coach. But they're your option, boys. If you want a growth campaign, speak to a guy called Colin Yerkeson. He was the guy that sorted mine out. It's a good friend of mine. Not sure if he does them anymore, but he'll have a link. I'm just going to type it in here, what his name is. Colin Yerkeson. If you think it will help you, it's an option, boys. But I just thought I'd let you know. Other one, do not let people stop seeing you. You can't take breaks from this stuff. You need to stay relevant. You need to stay in people's minds. And that's incredibly important. So whenever you feel like taking a break, don't. You need to batch make your content so you're not getting burnt out. So you're still having days off, but you've got content for weeks. That's very, very important. Something I didn't do very well when I started was I was making content every day. So I got burnt out after 150 videos. And then I ended up taking a break, and that stunts your growth. That stops your business and your channel growing so fast. So you've got to be careful about that. You've got to make sure you manage it into your schedule so that it's sustainable over time. And then your journey is what you're showing. So if you're rags to riches, you're finding a way to make your first 10K, you're fat to thin, thin to jacked, pale to tanned, loser to fighter, you are showing your audience. People buy into the stories that you tell them. And that is the journey that you're taking them on. Is whatever your dreams are now, you're creating that in real time through Instagram stories, through your posts, and you're taking them on a journey. When it comes to YouTube, I'll give you my strategy. So first few videos are normally the ones that people really struggle with because they don't know what to make their channel about. They're like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do my channel on. I don't know what topic to go on. And they delay making their first ever video. And that's the killer. That's the worst thing you can do. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time was now. So you need to start straight away, boys. Action is, if you don't do it today, it's never going to happen. 100%. The first day that Hamza said to me, Jack, I think you should go on YouTube. I'd really respect it if you did a video. I went home and I made my first video that night. You can watch it. It's called Once Upon a Time There Was a Gorilla Named Jack. It's the first video on my channel. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I have no idea what the channel is going to be about. And I expect your first videos to be the same. Do not expect to make your first video the same as my 200th video, because I can't tell you, boys, the amount you learn along that journey that no one else can give you. So you can try and make the best videos possible, but just understand you're going to learn so much. Just get them out is more important than the quality at the start. You can improve that as you go along and you find your flow. But the first thing, if you're stuck for a video, tell us your origin story. A lot of us don't give ourselves credit for how interesting our personal stories are. I don't know every single one of you in your story, but I would probably be quite fascinated with the different varied lives that you boys have lived. Just as maybe some of you were interested in my story when you first heard about it or saw me on YouTube. So you need to tell your origin story, I think, as your first video, and then tell it continuously. Every sort of 20 videos on your channel, you update it and you make it better and you show it, because it really helps people buy into you as a person. Tell us your struggles. Tell us what you're going through. Tell us what life's been like for you at this point. That's where you're going to start with the YouTube channel. The upload schedule. If you are serious about building a personal brand and you want to blow up a channel, you want to do a long format video every day. You can't beat daily videos. You can't beat that kind of output, because you are just going to grow. If someone's doing a video once every week, they're getting 4 videos, 4 chances for growth, 4 chances to go viral. If you do 30 videos, you're getting 30 chances to go viral a month. It is 100% the easiest way to grow. You need to batch your videos. So you're doing all your videos on one day of the week so that you're not getting burnt out. That's very important. And as soon as you can, you build a team of editors and you build a team of people to put in your thumbnails and stuff like that as well. So the schedule I'd recommend is 7 long format videos a week. And then out of those long format videos, you have editors that are turning that into 3 shorts every single day. This is for boys that are serious. If you want to blow up on YouTube, if you have the time and the resources, if you want to do it, it's all about output, boys. So you take those 7 long form videos and you get 3 shorts out of them, and they're 3 shorts daily, 1 long format video. Your growth will be insane. Trust me, because you're using those short videos as marketing, and you're getting quite good free exposure from YouTube on those. So you get a few thousand views straight away on your shorts that will drive people through to your longer format content. Very important. Once you start to build a base for a channel, you need to network and collab with other people. You need to try and network up, even if it's just by, and I would always recommend to you boys, look at somebody's active view counts on their channel. So you see a lot of channels out there, maybe they got 1.5 million subscribers, but they get like 5,000 views on their videos. It's like, what? How does that happen? Those people you could quite easily network with, even if you've only got 10,000 subs, because you've got 10,000 subs on your channel, but you're getting 5,000 views a video, and they've got 1.5 mil and they're getting 5,000 views a video. They might have a really decent channel. They've just kind of fallen off and not posted in a while. You can easily collaborate with them and you can pick up their 5,000 followers. You can bring them through to your channel. And if you're posting regular content, you're going to steal the attention. That's what happens. So you're going to take a part of their audience. When you do an outreach for this, it's very important. If you've got a channel now, you need to talk about the other person when you're trying to line up a stream. So whenever I do a stream, I say, look, I've got a channel, I get about 1 million views a month, sometimes more. It's in your target demographic. It's guys that I think would be really interested in what you're saying. And I think they'd love to find your channel. I'd love to present you to my channel so they can come and follow you. It's all about them. That's how you're going to get people to come and stream with you, no matter how big your channel is because they're going to want those extra 1,000 people from your following. And then you go through and you have that. And the good thing is, someone subscribes to you doesn't mean they can't subscribe to someone else. So you don't need to worry about people taking your followers or taking someone else's followers. Like, the person who entertains the most wins, and that's fair competition. So you boys can just do that. That's how I would recommend networking. Again, only make content about what interests you. Don't try and guess the market. Post daily as well as shorts, and set yourself a goal. A lot of people just stop too early. If you've heard about Gary Vee, this guy did like, I don't know how many videos, but he did like 2 years worth of daily videos with like 3 people watching. How many of us could say that we would literally do fucking videos every single day with 3 people watching us? And then out of nowhere, Gary Vee just becomes one of the biggest personal brands ever. So a lot of the time you are doing the right thing, but you're not doing it for long enough. You have to remember this can be a long game. So I'd say for anyone, do 100 videos before you even think about reassessing your decision to go down a personal brand route. Make sure you've done 100 videos first, even if none of them take off. Even if you're on number 99, they haven't taken off, you're not even thinking about quitting as an option until 100 videos, and then have a look at 100 videos and see if you need to maybe restructure or realign or go down a different path. That's what I'd say. Everyone quits content creation way too early. I can't even say to you that I would have stuck at it for that long myself. I luckily got some exposure fairly quick, but as far as I've seen, you need to stick with it for a long time because you could get your exposure at a different point. You don't want to miss out on that. The next one is building a YouTube business. So you've got your YouTube channel, you started to structure, you started to get some views in, you're making your content. Now you need to figure out, how do we turn these fans, how do we turn them into an audience? one of the first things you need to do, you need to get that Instagram linked. You get an audience off YouTube, you're funneling them to Instagram. They're watching you long format content on YouTube. Now they're watching you daily stories on Instagram. They are now officially in your funnel, and you're just providing value. For those first 90 days, you are value, value, value. Free value on the YouTube, free value on the Instagram, Q&As. You're working your fucking socks off to provide values to the people in your funnel. Providing all your best stuff for free. You're building fans, you're replying to comments, you're making sure people feel valued, you're doing community posts, you're engaging, you are creating your fan base in these first 90 days. Back end of YouTube, very important bit when you're scaling, might be relevant to some of you now, might not be. If you're a little bit more advanced in the YouTube business, you need to scale. So what you want to do is, a lot of people don't know you can do this. The back end of YouTube Studio, you can allocate people that have certain permissions inside of your channel. So a lot of people get scared about giving a login to their editor, or a login to someone to change thumbnails, or a login for someone to manage community posts or reply to comments. What you can do, you go into the YouTube Studio, go to settings, and you can set somebody to do that for you, but you only give them permission to comment on videos as you, or you might give them permission to post videos, or permissions to change the thumbnails and titles. So that's a very important thing to know. If you're going to scale a business, you can't be doing it all yourself. You need to get yourself an editor for your videos, an editor for your thumbnails, and an editor for your shorts. That is what you need at the start as a content creator. And then eventually you'll need a guy to do your marketing back end, run your back end funnels, run your websites, all of that sort of stuff. The upload schedule you follow that I've just given you. How do you drive your audience to your links? This is an interesting one, because in your analytics on YouTube, you don't want to damage that first 30 seconds of audience. But that is also where you've got the most viewers, because you're going to drop off, obviously, as your video goes on. People don't stop watching it. Depending on what your retention is, depends on how people continue to watch or not. So there's a couple of misinterpretations around this, whether you should advertise at the start. I think advertising at the start is a good idea, but it can't be too long. And you need to do it before you've given the audience what they clicked for. So the audience is maybe that they're asking for something, an answer in your video, you're providing some sort of value. You give them the hook, you get them excited. You say, look, this is what we're going to do. Da, 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 da. I'm going to give you this, this, and this. I'm going to teach you how to do this. And I'm going to tell you the story of how I went from here to here. Bang. Then you have your ad. Then you have your, boys, by the way, if you want to join our community, if this is your style, or some kind of hook in your ad, click the link below, straight into the video. You're going to get the most views and the most link clicks that way. Is it the best for keeping retention on your channel? Absolutely not. At the start, I would recommend, rather than taking someone away from your channel when they're watching, I would recommend just promoting to the guys that make it to the end, because they're your most likely guys that are going to buy anyway. So if you put your ad at the end, you're not affecting retention at all. And then you can just speak to the audience that have made it to the end, and you can put a little inside thing in with your audience, something like, you boys have made it to the end. If you're not subbed, I don't know why you're not, because you're obviously a legend, because you watched my whole video. If you want more like this, check out the links below, and then drive them through to your links there. They're your really warm traffic. They're a very good person to send down to your links. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. As you get bigger, as your views are growing, a 30-second ad on the front is going to drive huge traffic. Obviously very good. If you want to anti-sell, which is the way that the world is going, because it seems the more now that you tell someone to do something, you tell someone why your product's so good, the less they want it, the more they feel you're lying. If you look at someone like Iman Gadzhi, if you watch his videos, and I suggest you boys look into his funnels, look at where all his traffic is driven. Look at the videos that he makes around his traffic. A lot of his videos will drive you to one YouTube video, and that YouTube video is actually a webinar. It's got a sales script webinar structure. He is basically selling you on his business without telling you he's selling you on his business. It's fucking genius. He's telling you about the different business models you can start, and then he's very carefully slipping in his own business model as the most viable solution without directly telling you to click on his business model. So anti-selling nowadays is very important, boys. You've got to have a look about that. I can't go into it fully on this video because there's so much. I'll probably release another module in the sales course that goes into anti-selling more. But I just want you boys to know about it, and definitely look into what Iman's doing. TikTok. Next one, essential to a personal brand. Not something that I've done a huge amount of, but we do have some exposure on TikTok. TikTok is basically your marketing. you're going to build your customers through your Instagram and through YouTube, but your TikTok is like casting that net out. You're casting a net, and you need to understand the TikTok platform. So you can use the American algorithm, you can use the European algorithm, you can use the fucking Asian algorithm. Doesn't matter which one you use, but I would recommend you gear your content towards different algorithms. So you are not able to post to an American algorithm where you might have a load of exposure without having someone with an American SIM card. So you need to now find a TikTok editor that's going to take your shorts and your TikToks and is going to post them in America. You need a TikTok editor that's going to post to a fan account in the UK, and you need a TikTok editor in Europe. And obviously, if you've got the funds and the expenses, you can do that for different areas. You're casting a wider net, you're giving them a 60-second snap, and then you are driving them to YouTube to become fans, to become followers, to find the Instagram, to find the offers, to spend money with you, to become your fan base. So that's what TikTok's very, very good for. If you are just in one place, obviously you figure out the algorithm for your place and post it from your own phone. If you're a businessman, if you're a guy that's a little bit further ahead, has a bigger budget, I highly recommend you find guys that will post from different continents, and you're going to maximize your exposure there. I've had a guy that did TikToks for me in the UK, posted one TikTok of me, did 1.5 million views, which is crazy, just off of a 60-second video. I'd already filmed the video, just got shortened out of a YouTube. So you could be sitting on gold, 1.5 million views, then funnels a load of people over to the YouTube, they become subscribers, they buy your stuff. So it's very, very important. It's not one that I hugely know, but that's how I currently use it. So if you've been creating content, building your brand, talking to people on a regular basis, and you're starting to get a following, you now need to monetize. And the first part of this was giving the value for free for 100 days, because now you've got people watching you and you've taken their feedback through like Q&As and stuff. So you're getting DMs, messages, what people are interested in, what they vibe with. You've maybe found a gap in the marketplace for a product, and then you've decided to make your product. So for example, I told stories about me having low testosterone and fixing that. And that seemed to be a sore point with the audience. And like guys like, oh shit, could you help me boost my testosterone? And then I thought, okay, that sounds like a good product. I could definitely put down into a course what I did and then sell that. And what you're going to use then is your links in your stories. You're going to put that offer as a link. You create a website, a landing page, and you can drive your first traffic to that landing page, or you can operate in the DMs if you're doing something like coaching or mentoring. So maybe you've done your fitness journey, you're now ready to take people on their journey, and then you put on DM me. You start having conversations with people, sending them through, and I'll tell you what the best softwares to use are for actually building these courses and monetizing this stuff. But what you're going to do is you're basically giving value for your first 90 days, and then you're adding a link. You're creating a product based off what you found with your audience, what you're interested in. Read $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, create your first offer. You're going to link it in your stories, and then you come up with a marketing plan for linking it in your stories. So you maybe tell a quick story about something that happened with you, how you solved the problem. Oh, by the way, if you want to solve this as well, click the link. And you start to come up with decent ads for driving traffic to that page. Same on your YouTube, not on your TikTok. Don't put it on your TikTok, send them to YouTube. Let the YouTubers then click on the link. The TikTokers, you just want them watching your main stuff so they get bought into your products. But that is basically what you're going to do to monetize your brand. So in terms of what you should sell, for me personally, I love digital products because we live in a time where you could do this for 90 days and you become an expert on a topic and you get a niche following. Let's say you've got 1,000 story views of guys that absolutely love the stuff that you say about cars because you're remodeling cars or whatever. You remodel a certain type of BMW, and that's what you've been going on about on stories for the past 90 days. They love your stuff for free. They've become big fans of YouTube, everything that you do. They're practically begging to pay you at this point. Then you bring out an offer, you put the link out, you do a pre-sale before you make the product, okay? This is very important. You have to do the sales before you make the product. Do not sit down and spend fucking hours and hours making a product or making a course or any digital product if you haven't got sales already. That's number one. Because you might put out your fucking remodeling BMW course and nobody gives a fuck. And in which case you just wasted all that time and energy. But if you haven't done it yet, you go, okay, no one bought that, quickly onto the next landing page and offer. And all you've done is create a landing page, a small amount of time invested. And what you do is for those most loyal followers, you give them a discount. Here you go, 50% sale on the pre-sale for the first 50 guys to buy my course. Bang, you get them in, you've collected your cash, you've got money to invest in making the course. You make it over the next 2 weeks, you keep them in a chat function to keep them entertained in the meantime, connect with your audience a bit more. Bang, you release the course, increase the price, and now you have a product that works. That's basically what I would recommend doing. That's what I've done personally. If you figured out, for example, I'll put here, yeah, so let's say you figured out how to make your first 10K online, then you offer a mentorship, or you come up with an offer to, oh, I can guide you through it. They've seen your journey. They're more likely to trust you, more likely to buy your offers. Now, I could go into making offers and courses and all that stuff for hours, but that's your general idea. So now you've got the basis of why you're building a personal brand, how you start to build it, what you're doing for 90 days, how you're going to then monetize it. And you can start mapping that out in your head so it actually gets you to your first bit of income. And it's all based around that journey. Whatever journey you've done, that's what you're monetizing. And that's what you're monetizing to your audience, is showing them how to do what you've done. And you're doing it before them on those 90 days and showing them. What apps and software should you use? This is just the stuff after being about a year in the game myself. Personally, I've used quite a few different bits of software. These are ones that I like. Course design, email marketing, anything courses, use Kartra. That's what we're currently running the new Elite out of. I've used ClickFunnels. I've used Thinkific. Thinkific was decent. It was very good for a beginner, but you can't split test. So if you're a marketer, you'll understand that a split test is when you test 2 types of landing pages and you change one thing, leave it the same on this one, see if this one performs better. Absolutely essential for increasing conversions. Not being able to do that is a no-go for any marketer. So that's why Thinkific is very basic and kind of off the list. Kartra allows you to split test, email marketing. It's everything under one roof. It's very, very good. ClickFunnels also decent, but unfortunately the 2.0 does not currently have all the features available. So I've signed up for 2.0 and you can't actually do a lot of the stuff on there. So we've got everything on Kartra. We love Kartra. It's very good. When this comes out, this video on the link, I'm going to put a link of just a PDF where you can click the link and you can find the products that I'm talking about. So if your boys can't find these things, you can check them out. If you haven't created one already, for some of you that aren't in online business, you need a Stripe account. Stripe is your online payment processor. It's how you are going to take money out of the internet. It's how money's going to be in your bank account from your Instagram. Your Stripe link is absolutely important. It can be added to your Kartra. If you run a coaching business, it can be added to Trainerize, which is how you deliver your coaching as a PT. And it's just very, very important. So sooner rather than later, boys, set up a Stripe account and it will allow you to take money from the internet. You need a payment processor. You can make products on there, or you can integrate it with a landing page. Just very, very important. And Stripe is the best one I've used. I've never had any issues with Stripe. They're very, very helpful. You get through to them in about 5 minutes when you're calling them. They'll actually help you with everything. We've never had any payments held. Another good thing about a personal brand, you don't get a lot of refunds. If you're a normal product off the internet, people are more likely to refund. If you're a personal brand, people have bought into you. They don't want to give up on you. If they've got an issue, they're more likely to just ping you a message and say, oh, I didn't get value with this. Is there a way I can get something else? And then you can help them. They're less likely to refund. They're less likely to ruin your payment processor. And then Dazcam. When you're building an aesthetic Instagram, use Dazcam. There's some edits in there that you just don't get the look and feel for in any of the other editing apps in the iPhone or the editing apps on Instagram. So that's basically your best option when it comes to editing. Now, best books on personal branding, there's just one. I don't want to overwhelm you with stuff because I genuinely feel I've given you enough now for you to build a personal brand. There may be some intricate details, and if there are, we can Q&A now, and then we can also, in the content room, if you're watching this on record, go into the content room on the Telegram, ask your questions in there. It's all about, that's where we'll talk about personal branding. So that's the room for it. So I don't think you necessarily need any more information than that. It's more you boys need to start doing stuff rather than thinking about it and rather than fucking learning about it, because you're going to learn way more on the way. If you get an issue on the way, DM me, send me a message, or at me in the content room. I'll answer. Best book you can read, if you're going to read one, Jab, Jab, Right Hook by Gary Vee. Best book on personal branding I've personally read. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It will do a deep dive into what we've talked about today and give you some more case studies of people that have done it and really open your eyes to the fact that you don't need to be a famous person or an amazing personality to make a good income off a personal brand. You can be a super boring guy in a niche and you can still make good money. So it really is for everyone. And boys, that is the end of my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we will now move to some questioning on the Q&A from anyone that's got a question. Fire up your hand emoji. We'll go through questions and we'll get these bad boys answered. Just give me one sec, boys, because I'm going to stop the screen share and we'll go full screen so we can see each other. Sick. There we go. I'll start with Janny.
All right. So I had a question that how do you get ideas for the Instagram stories? Because I think it's quite hard to do every day. So how do you get the ideas?
Not hard to do. That's just in your brain. What do you do every day? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, bang, that goes on the Instagram. Have you been in the gym? Bang, that goes on the Instagram. Have you seen a nice tree as you're walking? Bang, that goes on the Instagram. Have you read something today you like to quote from a book? Bang, you film yourself talking about it on the Instagram. Have you been swimming? Is there something your mate told you earlier? Something you've seen as you're walking around? Something in your job? Everything goes on stories. It doesn't need to be thought about in that way. You're trying to come up with, Janny, an idea. You're trying to come up with it as a piece of content. That's not what it is. Stories is your life. I want to see you. I want to see what's this guy having for breakfast. I want to see where's he walking? What does he buy when he goes in the shop? You are showing them the inside scope of your life. That is what stories is. You are posting 5-6 times a day minimum every day. When you're hanging out with your friends, you're taking pictures, you're taking videos, you're getting up on stories. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Good man. Jerome?
You all right, Jack? You all right, boys? Yeah, my question is, I've been trying to get into personal branding for literally years now, and my problem has not been that I'm not, how do we say, confident enough to do it, because I know I am. I'm very lucky right now because I'm blessed with a few trip opportunities over the next couple months where I'll go to new countries all through my work. And I was just wondering, in your opinion, what is the best way to take advantage of that? Because every time I travel, I always take photos. But when I'm back at home, I think it kind of ruins the moment by constantly recording your life. So I kind of get what Janny means. But my question really...
I've got you. We're coming back to the same thing of like, we're thinking about life from a different perspective. This is all money driven, boys. I want you guys to know that. We're not fucking doing this for the fun of it. We're doing this to put money in our pocket. And that is the number one thing, to help the world and put money in your pocket. So we need to take this seriously. This is a job. This is not about whether or not you enjoy it. This is not whether about you enjoy putting content up or think people are getting annoyed by it. This is the Grant Cardone thing. This guy fucking posted relentlessly. Same with Gary Vee. Who cares if other people don't like it? You need to be in their face and you need to show them who you are. It's the only way to build an audience. People are way more interested in your stuff than you think they are. So Jerome, when you're traveling, I want to see you fucking traveling. I want to see what you get up to. Like you posted stories the other day. Look, I've seen this. I saw you post stories the other day at the thing with the milk. The funny thing with the milk in the cupboard. Remember when you posted that?
Yeah.
See, I've seen that, and I follow a lot of people. I've seen that, I've remembered it, and I've related it to you. That's the power of the brand. So imagine, I obviously watch your stories. So imagine I start seeing something every day. I am one of those people where you figure out your brand and your journey on your travel, that I'll eventually, when you put out an offer and I vibe with your content because I've been watching it, I'll be one of those first customers. I'll be one of those people that buys from you. So you just got to remember that there's people watching that you don't consider, that like what you post and you don't know about it. So I'd say on your traveling trip, the best thing you can do is just keep that camera out, get pictures, show yourself as a G, think about what you're actually enjoying from that trip. What are you interested in? What are you reading about? What have you learned on the trip? Absolutely anything that interests you. What type of work is it?
It's a travel coordination. I work for this. I'm not sure if any of you British people have heard of it or Italian. It's called We Road. It's like a solo travel company, and I'm one of the tour guide leaders there. So I take like solo people around. Like I'm going to Egypt, for example. So I'm gonna like take them around the pyramids and show them around. And I just thought that's a perfect opportunity to start my personal travel brand, which I've already tried getting into a little bit.
Well, dope as fuck. I think that's absolutely something you could do. You could either leverage it as the truth. So you could say, that you're actually working for someone and you're going and doing that and then see where that takes you. Or you can just use the advantage of being on that trip and not talking about necessarily that you're there for work, but just talking about traveling. Just film what you're doing. At the start, if you look back, boys, and you can do this after this call, look back at my saved stories on Instagram and look at the first time I put myself out on the internet. I'm talking about fucking credit tips. I'm talking about how to improve your credit score. That's fucking so far away from what I'm doing now. I just saw someone else do it. I had a very good credit score at the time because I'd been working on it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to talk about credit score. And I decided to do that. Then I saw my stories because I was posting every day. I was like, okay, a lot of my stories are in the gym. I seem to post a lot in the gym. I'm taking pictures of myself. I'm getting in more and more good shape. People are starting to ask me about how do they get in good shape? Bang. And then your first offer and your first business is born. So you're not going to know. A lot of you are not going to know right now what the posts are. Do fucking anything. Absolutely anything. You could talk about the call that you've just been on. I used to be in a group like this and it was called Leverage Lifestyle. And I just used to, after the calls, I would take a picture for starters. Like right now, I'd take my camera out and I'd take a picture of everyone on Zoom. And I'd just say, oh, like meeting with the boys. Then I talk about something on camera that I learned in this meeting, how it's going to change my life. That was literally how I started. And then your brand will evolve. So I hope that helps, Jerome. And obviously anything else, just drop me a DM or put a message in the content room.
So the key is just to produce as much as you can, really. Just pump out the content and don't give a shit what people you think, because more people find it interesting than you believe.
Exactly, yeah. And your offer will find you. You'll find yourself. You'll start to see, okay, what do I actually like based on what I post? And then you'll build your offer around that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jay.
Man.
Pleasure.
Jay, fucking congratulations. Absolute warrior.
Hello. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. Feels great. And thanks for everyone who suggested to do it. It was an amazing experience for sure. Yeah, my question now is,
for anyone
I'm
that
not
doesn't
sure how
know,
to balance training.
One sec, Jay. I'll just intro you, Jay. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about,
hang on, I can't hear you.
Oh, am I muted?
Sorry, that whole time my fucking headphones went out. I can hear you now.
Yeah, basically, anyone that doesn't know Jay just did his first MMA fight and won. So he's been training for that. We've been talking on the calls about it. So anyone who's watching him recording, that's what Jay's just done. And I think you had an amazing experience doing it, didn't you, Jay?
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. Feel like a new man, honestly.
So fucking sick.
Let's fucking go, bro. GG's.
Good work.
GG's.
Boys, if you haven't done it, get it lined up. First amateur fight, just get it done, lads. We'll change you as a man. I'll absolutely change you as a man. Real big moment. So awesome work, Jay. What was your question?
Yeah, no, my question was, I really enjoyed it. In fact, I was talking to someone who fights a lot and he said, be careful because it's addictive. And it really is. Like, after you get your hand raised, it's like you just got a hit of some fucking crazy drug or something.
Crazy drug, man.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think about how to go about training now in terms of with weight training and doing MMA training. I'm trying to figure out how to create a new schedule around that, if that makes sense, how to balance it.
Yeah, what I would recommend is you're on that buzz of a win, and I think you should ride that. And I think you should ride that to become as talented a fighter as you can become in this short space of time, because it's one of those things you learn that you then keep for the rest of your life. So if you're on a vibe with it now, you're excited, you've just come off a win, get back in there, train harder on your MMA, go for your next fight, get signed up, get some fights under your belt. Don't get out of the rhythm, because getting into that rhythm in fighting is a lot harder than getting into that rhythm with bodybuilding. So when you're bodybuilding, it's easy. You could do 2 years of fighting. You want to bodybuild to be big within 3 months. It's like, it's not fucking hard. Yeah. Whereas the fighting, for me, it's harder to get into that flow. So I'd recommend go more into the fighting, do your training around your fighting, and just focus on becoming dangerous, because that has a look to it as well. That has a persona and a body language change that gets you chicks and makes you look good compared to just the big muscle. So I would focus on that personally, Jay.
Yeah, because I think I will do another fight. I think I probably will definitely do another fight. It's just so good. And it changes you as a person, for sure. So yeah.
You were right. I love the quote. I love the quote that you put in the chat. when you said the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. And that is true for anything, boys. The things that really make you fucking tingle, like you're fucking shit scared of them, like having a fight and the idea of losing, that holds the feeling that you want right now. That bit of pit and fulfillment that you can't quite find doing anything. Trust me, that fear of fighting holds that fulfillment. And that feeling is when it gets unlocked, when you win that fight. It's when it gives that to you, become a new person, a new type of man.
No, it's so true. And I'll be completely transparent. Like when I was waiting for my fight, I nearly pissed myself. Like I was that nervous. Like it was a crazy experience. But yeah.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah, thank you for the advice.
Good man, Jay. Babjot. Man, G.
Yo, Jack, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Awesome. So basically just gonna get right into it. I'm at this point where I have a bunch of opportunities in front of me. And so basically I have my 3 priorities are like my building my personal brand, building my body. Those are like the main 2. And then also the money comes with building the personal brand, but also a form of the 3rd thing is a form of just like a job or something for money right now, obviously to keep myself afloat with expenses. And the opportunities that I have in front of me are pretty much, we have Tanner in the call here doing his growth specialists with all of us, but then that's something where it's like $300 plus $50 for each appointment set, and it's a really good opportunity for me to learn sales because it's in the real estate niche, so I could possibly also be doing the sales calls, but there's also another opportunity for me to work at the airport, and obviously it is a 9-to-5 job, but it's like $5K a month, which is a lot of money, of course. And one of the things I'm 100% set on doing is moving out to Thailand. And if I also have a Muay Thai gym that I fight at right now or train at ending in April, and I'm finding it very hard with all the shit that I have to do to get in there in the Muay Thai gym, because the Muay Thai class, the beginner classes are at 12 p.m. and 12 p.m. is pretty much every single time I'm going to have work at that time. So what I was thinking is go with the airport job and make all that money, save all that money, possibly hire editors for a personal brand and stuff, because making 1 long video, 3 short videos every single day takes a lot of fucking time. Even if you're like, scheduling out, I do it like once a week where I schedule everything out, but it takes a lot of time. So basically I just want to know your thoughts on that. Going with the airport job or learning the skills and sales and everything, with Tanner.
I think you're probably right with I think you need cash in the bank. I mean, without cash in the bank and getting some steady cash flow, it's always tougher to do stuff. What's your situation, Babjot, in terms of like living at home? What are your current expenses? How much of that can you save? How long are you going to be trapped in a 9-to-5?
Mm-hmm. So I'm living at home, so the expenses there are not the zero. And when I get like groceries and stuff, my parents pay for that. So that's a plus as well.
Sick. So your expenses must be like under $1,000 a month.
Yeah, it's like 200 maybe.
So you can literally make $4,800 a month for 6 months, and you're sitting on a pile of cash. You can then deploy that into whatever the hell you want to deploy it in, whether that's opening up more of your personal brand, paying for editors in the background to build your personal brand, moving to Thailand. You've got a decent fund there. You've got a beautiful position that you can save cash for 6 months, go all out and try something for another 6 months. And if it doesn't work, you can just go home and you can go again. You just build your cash again. You go out and try stuff. You've got Tanner lined up. If you're in Thailand and you need some cash, you can start working for Tanner online. No problem. So I think you made the right choice. Stack some cash. Whilst you're stacking cash, you're going to have a lot of ideas. You've got a lot of time to think in a 9-to-5. So it'll probably open up some doors for you and some avenues. But just save that money and you'll be in a real nice place, I think, with that airport job. And then you can go all out on what you want to do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And also, in terms, if I do go for the airport job, I straight up, most of them, I might be able to do like 1 Muay Thai session on the weekend. And that stuff costs like I mean, compared to I just don't have the money to renew my membership right now. So do you think I should just focus on the gym for now?
How
or
much
just,
is the membership?
it's around 900 for 6 months. So work for like 2 weeks or two, and then I
Can you
could pay
pay?
for it, I
Can you
guess.
pay monthly?
You can, but it's like a lot more.
How
I'm not
much
sure
is
the
it
exact
monthly?
number.
No.
It's around like 150. Like it's just like taking the piss, really. Yeah.
Got you. I would say in terms of a cash flow, but you've got no cash flow problem. So $150 for the, you've got to remember, you got to think about it like this, Babjot. That fucking fighting is a life or death situation at some point further along the line. It can't be shrugged aside because it's $150. $150 is fuck all in the grand scheme of things. You're spending that on 2 or 3 takeouts or going to a bar. So you need to reframe it differently. If you don't want to spend that 900 outlay, just look at it as a monthly cash flow thing. You can easily afford it and still save money. And you being dangerous and being able to fight means that in the future, you can protect yourself and your family if you need to. At some point, at any point, that could be a skill that is worth 100 grand to you or worth everything that you've got to you. So I would look at it in that way. You are not just pissing money away on learning to fight. That's an absolutely essential skill. So bite the bullet, spend $150 a month, save slightly less. Your expenses are literally like $200 anyway. Let's say your expenses are $500 a month max. You still got 4.5K savings that you can do. And then obviously your taxes and stuff, you've probably got to pay out of that as well, unless that's 5K take home.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just think of frame it differently with that one, I think.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. And then, so right now what I'm doing, or what I have been doing, was 3 days a week at the gym, full body, and then an arm day, and then 3 days Muay Thai. But obviously the timing's not going to work out, so I might be doing Muay Thai once a week. So should I still be doing the gym like 3 days a week, full body? Is that like the best thing to do?
I would still do the 3 days a week full body because you need to have the physique. And then I would have a look at, for the money you're spending on the gym where you're not able to do as many classes, have a look if you could just get a one-to-one session with a Muay Thai trainer on a time that suits you, like twice a week. And then you meet up with a buddy to do some sparring. That's pretty essential, is that you meet up with one of the Canadian Gs that is in the group and you guys do some sparring together to make sure you're getting used to fighting each other. And you do that on the weekend. You maybe do 1 or 2 private sessions with a trainer where you're going to learn the most throughout the week. And maybe you don't pay for a membership, but you just do a private session. He comes to your house or you go to his facility and you do that stuff. So start having a look into your options there, I'd recommend.
All right. Yeah, those are all my questions. I appreciate it, Jack.
Good man.
Take care.
Tom, good to meet you, Tom.
Yo, how's it going? Good to meet you, Jack, and congratulations, Jay, and hello, everyone.
Yeah, good to meet you, bro.
Yeah, bro, 2 things. So I'm really curious about your close friends strategy as well. Like, because obviously you're getting a high, you've got a lot of people viewing your stories, and clearly there's some strategy going on with the close friends as well, which is really interesting.
The close friends strategy, it's interesting that you asked about that, because I've just taken it out of, that was originally, and I'll give you the full story on that. That was just a value add to my offer. That was just like, people are more likely to buy my course if I bundle it in with other things. So rather than it just being a testosterone course, you get the Gorilla Tribe WhatsApp and you get my close friends, and it makes that value exchange better. And it didn't cost me anything. Now I've actually taken that down out of the offer now, because I'm at a point where I'm not pushing the testosterone offer as much. It does a lot of sales on its own. It's left in the background running, but what's more valuable is my time, and adding somebody to my close friends is a bad use of my time. So I've taken it out of the offer now. And I also found I don't utilize the close friends that much. I'd prefer to post everything to my main stories and not so much to my close friends, because I get more advantages of everyone seeing my content when I put it out than just putting stuff on close friends. Occasionally, if I want to say something a bit private, something that's maybe a little bit too risky for Instagram, I'll use the close friends. Or if there's an offer I'm bringing out that people want exclusive access for, I'll use the close friends. But originally that was just done to bundle up the value of my original course. That's why I use close friends as a strategy. You can use it better than I utilize it, I think, to build relationships with your audience. I probably will. But at the moment, full honesty, that's what it was for.
That's awesome, man. Mate, Yeah, appreciate you sharing that. And I just want to say as well, like, I really like your personal branding in terms of like showing, don't tell always. Like, you really showcase the lifestyle and everything amazingly. Like it when you come onto your page, I was looking at it the other day and I thought that builds a whole load of authority for you in the space. And obviously you're living it, so it's authentic anyway. But yeah, man, it's awesome.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, Tom, because obviously it's the first time for me as well. So it's nice to hear that I'm doing things right.
Yeah, of course, my mate. One final thing as well. I'm going to post it in the chat. I did post it in the Telegram. It's just everyone's Instagram in a spreadsheet. So I think like it's quite useful. You can put your niche so you can connect with like-minded guys. But also I think it's really helpful if everyone like, if you can see that someone's trying to build a personal brand, like go ahead and comment on their posts and build them, because when they do have an offer, that gives them credibility, and then they're gonna do that for you as well. So it's like a really good way to like sort of rise the tide and bring everyone up.
Absolutely right, Tom. I mean, if you can get this 26 of us now, if you can go into Tom's spreadsheet after and all